Arvin Kamlish. Is that your last name?
It's Kamse.
Kamish.
Kamse. Kamse.
Kamse. Okay.
Yeah.
Kamse.
Yeah.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Coin Republic podcast. My name is Shor Bacharya. In the NFT marketplace, it's like a roller coaster. Sometimes it's on the top of the food chain, sometimes it crashes down like nothing else. But we see interesting news come out in this sector now and then, which makes me think, what are the best marketing practices in this domain? Is it still relevant in the Web3 marketplace? And I know we have interviewed a lot of people from the NFT sector, but this is the perfect time as halving is on the horizon. And we just recently packed one of the fantastic strutted events in Dubai. And I was fortunate enough to meet a person over there who is an NFT marketing expert. He's the founder of Sold Out NFTs and Galaxy Pals. It is my honor to introduce you guys to the screen with the one and only Mr. Arvin Kamshe.
Hey there. Thank you so much for having me.
Okay.
And just a slight correction, is the co-founder of Galaxy Pals. But yeah.
Okay, co-founder of Galaxy Pals. Let's start with the ventures. You got two ventures, as well as you're currently counsel at Forbes. You got a lot of things going on there. Could you explain to us what is Sold Out NFTs and what is Galaxy Pals, your
Yeah.
babies?
Yeah. Absolutely. Okay. So essentially, my background is marketing. I started with small businesses. Later on, I started doing larger businesses, particularly cybersecurity, SaaS companies, and then went on to public companies. And then around the same time, I was introduced to NFTs, sold out a collection in a very short amount of time for this Italian artist. And then sold a bunch more literally in the same month. And so that we got popular for essentially selling out collections. That's where the sold out NFT came from. And then it's always been in my mind to just, other than just selling out other people's collection, also just have my own. And so that's why I launched Galaxy Pals, which the free mint last week sold out 6,000 of them in 2 minutes.
Interesting. Now, the success of an NFT platform depends on community engagement. So, how does your projects, including sold out NFTs, foster a sense of community among its users? Are there any community driven initiatives or events that you guys facilitate for both of the companies?
Yeah, so for sold out NFTs, I mean, it predominantly started as just referrals. So I had success, and then other people will just refer to me. Didn't really do a lot of marketing or community building per se to then market to them and just tell them, hey, we can I guess sell your NFTs, sell your tokens, so on and so forth, or whatever Web3 ventures they were dealing with. Versus for Galaxy Pals, I did. So in about 3 weeks, I brought it from zero to about 10,000 on Discord and about 12,000 on Twitter, and similar with all the other platforms as well.
You have an interesting track record. You sold out an Italian artist, I believe, back in 2021. Your
Yeah.
track record shows that an ROI of 11 to 40 times during the bear market itself for Web3 companies. Could you elaborate on specific challenges you faced and the strategies you implemented to achieve such remarkable results in a challenging market?
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess, I mean, the challenges change. So initially, the challenge was at the very beginning. I mean, really, my personal challenge was I knew marketing. I knew how to talk about it. I guess how to market a specific product. If I knew its benefits and to a specific community, I could find a community, and then I would say my Specialty was ads, paid ads. I was running 500K a month prior to getting into NFT world. And so I tried that obviously a lot at the very beginning, and that had its own challenges. Running ads within the restricted financial categories. It's it's something that you need to know how to get licensed for, how to navigate their rules and regulations on all platforms, by the way, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, so on and so forth. So there were some obviously personal challenges, right? So for me to understand everything as fast as it goes, and these challenges change. I found them every maybe 2 months. They change, and then I would say challenges right now for communities is that I think the let's say the hype around the NFT itself is not there, and so people are still trying to stick into, I guess, stick by the same narrative as it was previously, and that's why they find it challenging. So they try the same thing that they've seen, even let's say 6-7 months ago, and it doesn't work. So I think that's the biggest challenge is understanding what's the current narrative at the time, and
Uh-huh.
that's only visible to people who are just 24-hour, 24/7, literally on spaces, looking at other people's feed, looking at other collections on marketplaces, see if they sold out, how soon they sold out, how much they raised, what's the floor price, then how are they increasing floor price, so on and so forth. So the challenge is just figuring out what's the new way of doing things and what's the new narrative. That's probably the
Uh-huh.
biggest challenge. And I mean, it is what it is. It's fine. You just have to do the work.
Still though, I mean, you sold out 50 million plus NFTs in 2021 with an 81% success rate in a bear market. And I guess one of the questions I would have to ask, well, first off, how did you do that? Again, and second is, do you remember any particular NFT projects that that shined through the market?
Yeah. So a few things. Some slight corrections also on that one. So the 50 million is 50 million plus. It's actually more than that, and that's the raise. So it's not the number of the NFTs. And then the second thing is the success rate is 81%. That's both between bull run and bear market. Of course, bull run, the success rate was much higher, and then bear market is what brings it to
The start.
lower to, let's say, 81%. And then the 81% is the sold out, and the rest of them that haven't sold out, they sold somewhere around 40% or so, and then 40 to 60% usually, and then they would stop. They could technically keep going and sell more, but they would just stop. So that's just so people have correct context on that. And then your question was, how do I do it? So I would say bull run was very simple. It was essentially building a large community. So in fact, to make it more concrete for people, we would make a Discord community 3 times the number of the collection, whitelist about half of the number of the collection. So let's say if it was a 10,000 collection, we would want to have at least 30,000 people on Discord, at least about 5,000 people on a whitelist. People don't know what whitelist is. Essentially, you give your wallet address or whatever chain that is to the developer of the collection. They will include it in a smart contract, so you can buy. Well, let's say you can mint the NFT at an earlier time at a cheapest price, or cheaper, and then than everyone else. So that's what whitelisting is. So it was very simple, and then there was hype around the technology itself. So I think that's the thing that has changed significantly. There's no hype around the technology itself anymore. I think it's still very important to understand the actual reasons behind the technology NFT, like why it's used. I can tell you like why we use it for Galaxy Pass, for example. But yeah, I think back then it was so the community itself. You build it on Discord and whitelist. Pretty much that was it. I mean, there's a lot of intricacy into how you build it and what to post on Twitter, what to post on Discord, how to engage Discord. Do you play games? Do you watch movies with the people? Do you do Discord AMAs every week? All those things, and they changed. It's not the same as what it was like back then. But then now that has changed to, there's a bunch of models for selling out collections. One of them is, the one that I'm doing myself, and some of my friends recently done it as well. Is you would do a free mint where you essentially allow people. I guess I give you a real life example. So, for example, Galaxy Pals. What I've done is, the just so people understand. So the utility is basically giving crypto signals, and also teaching people how to read charts. Okay, so that's a utility. But it's nice to say that. Just say, hey, once we sold out, then we start giving you guys signals. We start teaching you how to read charts. But then everyone could say that, and then how do you know if we're actually going to deliver? So and that is a challenge within the community. It's just the trust, right? So you need to build the trust a lot more right now than it was in the bull run. So what you would do is you would do a free mint. You essentially offer your utility at a smaller scale. So, for example, in my case, I'm basically just making it so we have this moon pass. We sold out, and then basically whoever has it for 30 days, they can try out all our signals. They can literally like come to our workshops, ask all the questions, see the community, just see what it's like before basically buying the main NFT, right? So that's one method. There are other methods out there as well, but that's one that I like. It's closer to like I suppose it's not really Web 2, but it's closer to Web 2. It's just because you really show people, hey, this is, it's like a trial, right? So in like Web 2, you see even SaaS companies, you go and they're like, okay, so we give you a 5 days trial, 7 days trial, $1 trial, all sorts of like trials out there, and it works. People want to check something out before they try it out. And that's a big issue. Well, that's been a big issue in the Web3, where people promise and people have to like kind of just essentially trust the people's words. So to solve that, you basically offer this free mint, offer the utility beforehand, and then people know, okay, so it works, it's good, we like it, and then they can, they have the opportunity to buy at that time.
Launching an innovative Web3 ideas is exciting, no doubt, but profitability is very crucial. We have art NFTs leading the marketplace, providing art, which is subjective, but at the same time, there is utility NFTs surrounding around utility. What do you think is the future of the NFT marketplace post this bull run? Post halving, how do you see the long-term vision of the marketplace? Is it going to be art dominated still, or is it going to be utility dominated?
Okay, so I think it will be both, and also other ways like for NFTs being useful. I explained why we have, for example, just I guess real life example that I can speak to, like Galaxy Pals. The reason we have an NFT essentially, so through Collab Land, people can verify they have the NFT. They can access Discord and Telegram to get the benefits of the NFT, which is the signals and the workshops. So we're using NFT. So the reason we're using NFTs is, so sometimes people just think, oh, so it's JPEGs and then that's all it is. So it's important for people to understand. So the reason we use it is because it's a technology that provides access to gated communities. Okay, so that's why we're using NFT in this case. Now, why else this is useful? So let's say I want to buy this NFT, the Moon Pass, for example. Again, this is a real life example. That's why I keep talking about this. So let's say I want to buy this, then I can then go. So let's say I tried it out and say, actually, I don't like it. Now I can now sell the asset, right? So instead of the traditional ways for people to get crypto signals and learn how to trade, for example, and again, this is one example I'm giving, of course, is paying subscriptions. So paying monthly fees to someone or some organizations, and then what happens is money is taken away from your account, is placed into someone else's account. Now, when you use the technology, NFT technology in this case, how that's different is this: you money is taken from your account, it goes to an asset, it goes to a digital asset. Okay, now I don't mean digital asset that means like the price of the NFT 100% goes up or anything like that, but it's an asset. So that means you can sell it. Either it could be at the same price, it could be at a larger price, it could also be at a lower price. But now it's a different story than I've sent the money from my account to someone else, right? So this is where the technology is actually changing, disrupting the way learning and education happens within, for example, trading industry, right? So these are the reasons why we're using the technology. And then now let's say in a scenario, let's say I came in, I learned trading with the collection. 6 months after, I could actually even sell it at the same price, right? Again, I'm not saying everyone can, but just let's say speculate, right? If you could sell it at the same price, that means, and just to explain the technology, that means I came in, learned everything, got all the values, and then essentially didn't pay for it, right? You won't be able to do this in any other let's say any other way without this technology, right? And then here's another thing about this that's kind of cool as well. Now, let's say I'm the provider of this organization, right? So co-founder of the organization. If let's say you are the person who bought the NFT, got your education, and you're like, you know what, done with it. I got my education now. I want to go try something else, right? You sell it. I still, as the provider, I still get a royalty from you selling it to someone else, right? And also, you essentially cut my cost per acquisition of me essentially acquiring a new person to come to my community by a large number, right? So that's another reason this technology is useful, because it's a win for you, right? So you get your money. Let's say you could speculate that you could get your money back, or you could profit. You could speculate that as well, or even less than your money back, right? So something back. And then for you is a win, for us is a win as well, right? So of course, price of the NFTs could go up and down, but then when you start using the technology when it's supposed to be there, not just like hey, I just wanted to do NFTs, then the price of the NFT is not as dependent on market going up and down, right? It's just going to be dependent on people want to use the technology, as in use the benefits of the technology or not, right? They don't care. Okay, so if let's say the crypto is up, great. Crypto is down, great. They just want to use the technology, right? So it's just like internet, right? You won't say, okay, so this internet service provider has more expensive technology than, let's say, my current one, right? You're like, I want internet. I'm going to use the internet. You're not thinking about the technology stuff. So I think to answer, this was a long answer to your question, but basically what I'm just sum it up for you and your audience is, what I'm saying is the reason the technology is being used, the NFT is being used, is going to be more pronounced, right? So now people are actually going to start thinking about, okay, why are we even using NFTs? Are we just going to use the NFTs because, or is there a reason? Is there a reason to this, right? And you'll see that the industry is going to be disrupted, right? So like, let's say this could potentially be a great alternative to subscription model, right? Which completely different model. And so it's an innovation inside every industry because of the technology. So that's as far as the utility based ones. And then the art ones, they're just going to have their place as they used to. So digital art has been around before even NFTs came about. So they're still going to be there. And now if people sell the digital art through marketplaces, gives them an ability to have more people see their stuff, great. If not, also great. They're still going to continue being digital artists. Now we also have physical art. So let's say there's an art that I'm working with. It's from the 1540s. So it's a painting. It's a physical painting. Supposedly it's it's worth in millions, and you can tokenize that, and then each person. So let's say typically it's not very common for people to just buy like $1 million paintings, right? Physical paintings. But now all of a sudden you can buy a small portion of that painting with, again, the technology, right? Right. So these are the so to answer your question, these are the directions we're going, right? So using the technology, not so much selling the technology, basically.
Got it. Got it. Now, since Galaxy Pals have a lot of indicators, if I'm not wrong, while the NFT place has seen significant growth, reliable sources estimated around 24 to $25 billion industry in 2023. So, I wanted to understand if, like, for example, trading volume data shed light on market liquidity and potential NFT resale. So, what important data points and indicators would you suggest for an uptrend or a downtrend in a market? How do you guys gauge it?
So your question is, what's increasing and reducing the volume, or what do you mean?
Indicators. Just give a couple of indicators that are fan favorite on Galaxy Pals platform.
Indicators for what specifically? Trying to understand
So,
your question.
yeah. So let me ask you this. You said Galaxy Pals offer a couple of indicators, right? After getting the NFT pass, you mentioned that,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Right. So could you give a couple of examples of those indicators? What do they do, and like which one of them are important enough to gauge the NFT marketplace?
Oh, are you talking about the indicators, meaning like trading indicators? Is that what you're talking about?
Chart. Yes, you said chart. Something about chart protocols.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so just to clarify then, so when I say crypto signals and teaching people how to read charts, I'm talking about uh, literally top 100 coins. So not NFTs specifically. I mean,
Okay.
it's probably possible that we venture into that as well. I mean, I think I see a lot of people. There's some alpha groups out there. They just buy into a lot of let's say free mints. They know the first day there's going to be a jump in the price of the NFTs. They usually look
Mm.
for them on like launch pads and so on and so forth. And then they just scalping, right? So they just buy and then sell a little bit more, but they do it volume, so then they can make money from so many collections. But what we offer is top 100 coins. It's not actually the
Altcoins. Yeah.
yeah,
Got it.
yeah.
Got it. No, so
Well, it's
the follow-up
Bitcoin
question would be,
and altcoins as well. Yeah, all of those.
okay, okay,
Mhm.
understood. Now the follow-up question would be that isn't there a dearth, like then we have a vacuum for this indicators that help us navigate the NFT marketplace? I believe Nansen has a couple of indexes like
Ah,
NFT 500, blah blah blah. I mean,
yeah.
these are good, but we don't have enough resources that, let's say, for example, on TradingView, you could see a particular coin chart, but how do you know, measure a particular NFT collection except for looking for its floor prices and doxing its team, right? So
Yeah.
that would be my question to you. Yeah.
Yeah. So actually, someone in my alpha group actually did that. He created his own indicators. He spent
Mm,
days to create these. They're weighted indicators. It did show, for example, like he predicted certain things based on his indicators for I want to say December 2023, and to some extent, I mean, it was accurate. I personally, during the bull run, I was flipping NFTs. Since the bear market started, I stopped. I stopped flipping NFTs. I don't venture into that as much. I mean, if I had extra time, I would. But so I do know that some people. I would say it's probably very rare to find any good indicators to understand.
Right.
what's
Mm,
happening in the market. Reason being, there's a lot of market making that goes on into increasing the volumes for NFTs. So sometimes the collection themselves they do it. Sometimes also the marketplace doing it because they want to show they have large volume, because otherwise they would then become a headline of the news, and then they will lose customers. So there's a lot of that. So it's also that also makes it somewhat challenging. Uh, and then so that's one piece of, I suppose, insight into that. The second thing is, I found some of the people that I know that they're actually buying and selling NFTs. Like I said, their strategy is like free mint and then sell at a scalping. Another one is they join alpha groups, and then the reason alpha groups also work is kind of like, alpha groups for coins as well. They know the team, they know what they're going to do a few days before, and then they just have some alphas into like what's happening as far as the marketing. They know there's going to be a pump. I mean, that's not the it's just a pump and dump business, which we don't necessarily get ourselves into, but it does exist. People who wanna get into that. It's
mm,
out there, but we personally do not have indicators for NFTs. Maybe in the future.
hmm. Is there any way we could utilize, because there are millions of crypto wallets now active,
Yeah.
so could you utilize user data for valuable
I mean,
insights to gauge the NFT market?
so talking about data, um, I've actually scraped the wallet addresses of marketplaces. So
Hmm.
based on activity, based on how many NFTs they have, based on specific behaviors, you can even market to specific people in with let's say people on Ethereum who have a specific NFTs, right? You can actually run ads to them on certain platforms, like well, socials, and also outside the socials on specific websites. So you can do all of
So
those
you
things, but then
utilizing utilizing on-chain data and then combining it with traditional
yeah,
Facebook and Google ads. Are you
yes,
talking about that?
yes,
Okay.
yes, yes, that's possible. And then having said that, though, so I guess the reason I went there is just to make it clear how great the data is, right? So then you can actually use it. So there is data of so there's on-chain data of the wallet addresses. There is also, I mean, obviously people's socials. They're going to announce a lot of things that they do. So that's another factor people could, I suppose, account for. Uh, other than the wallet addresses, and then also the just the, I suppose, looking over other people's looking over the collection socials. I'm not sure. I suppose what other data you can grab into to make predictions, but yeah, it's just not something I've actually looked into it as much. I think it's probably more profitable for people who are looking to trade coins than it is for trading
And
NFTs, I
for
would say. You know?
Well, let me ask you this then. What are the sources that you utilize as a marketer to keep yourself updated on the market? I see you active on the offline scene quite a lot. I met you at our flagship event in Dubai. I also, well, I wasn't there, but you posted about it, WFC FinTech 2024. You shared
Yeah.
the stage with a lot of people, gave a lot of interviews offline. What are your go-to strategies to network and get information? Is it conferences? Is it podcasts, websites, books? If so, give a couple of examples for the audiences.
Yeah, so I would say my best is really actually speaking to founders that have sold out. Well, so I'm speaking now about NFTs specifically, not coins, but
Mm,
similar for actually coins as well, because that's not the only thing we do. We also deal with coins as well. So
coins as well, yeah.
the for let's say you asked about NFTs, I ask the founders themselves. I said, hey, like what, and by the way, I do have an incubator as well. So I do actually see a lot of, let's say, methodologies that come through that people do. Not
Mm,
necessarily, sometimes it's against my advice as well, but I see it. I see if it works or not. So that gives me actually a lot of insight, because sometimes founders don't want to share their mistakes because they're afraid the community thinks like, they're maybe incapable, or let's say, I don't know, they judge them, let's say, right? So but they
mm.
do tell me, they do tell the rest of the people in the incubator. So I think that's a big piece of information that I get from that. Second thing is, as I'm doing my own, I get a lot of info, and that's like actually one of the reasons I do my own, because it's one thing, I suppose, to be the provider. It's another thing to also be on the other side and actually doing your own stuff. And then you really see, okay, you're spending your own money on things, and you using the providers in a different, maybe you use them in a different way, or maybe you use different strategies and so on and so forth. So that's also been a really good way. And then lastly, I ask a lot of providers. So I know a lot of the providers in the space. And then when I talk, and I mean, sometimes it's not even, online. Sometimes we go for dinner or, lunch or whatever. And then we're chatting. And then, I ask them and be like, okay, so what's recently, have you recently done a raise? How did it go? What did you use? And then that's, for me, that's the best. Those are the best
It's offline
ways for me to.
conversations.
Yeah, to be
Yeah.
honest, I haven't found any books out there, no courses out there, no
Mm.
teacher out there. These are my own ways to get my info.
And that's Well, it's evident that you're self-taught and successful in this space, and I do appreciate you having on this podcast, and appreciate meeting you in person as well. I hope we could stay in touch in the future to cover you further. I wish you all the success.
Thank you so much for having me.
Cool. And it's